Hey everybody, this is Dr. Phil. This is going to be a video on e-commerce or electronic commerce, again in the context of MIS, Management Information Systems. Let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing we'll talk about is the evolution of e-commerce. So like how has e-commerce changed sort of over the years? Now you could almost say over the decades. So e-commerce has grown from obscurity to a multi-trillion dollar way to conduct business in a relatively short time frame. So really just a couple of decades. Some of the significant events in the evolution of e-commerce include e-commerce has grown from obscurity to a multi-trillion dollar way to conduct business in a relatively short time frame, as we said. The first major e-commerce company, CompuServe, was founded. Boston Computer Exchange launches the first e-commerce platform designed to sell and trade used computers. So these are all things that have happened, historically. And then, of course, the launch of probably the biggest one, the launch of the World Wide Web. So think about like www dot, that's World Wide Web dot, right? But there are many additional events that have helped to grow e-commerce. So what about the ubiquity of e-commerce? So when we say something is ubiquitous, it just means it's found everywhere. And of course, I think we all agree that e-commerce is now pervasive, right? Like it pervades pretty much every area of our lives. So e-commerce ubiquity is the ability of an organization to create a strong presence among consumers in many places, with minimal time constraints, to sell the products and services they offer. The internet allows customers and organizations to be in constant contact with each other. And a great example, of course, is who better to use than Amazon, right? So Amazon's customers can purchase a wide array of goods and services from almost any internet connected device at any time from locations across the globe. So what about the global reach of e-commerce? So e-commerce allows organizations to reach consumers across the globe. Using e-commerce, organizations can reach the largest number of potential and existing customers, thus increasing their global influence. E-commerce technology creates a global marketplace across cultural and national boundaries far more effectively than traditional commerce options. So you may have heard of business to consumer. We have kind of B2B and B2C. So business to consumer, B2C, in e-commerce is the selling of products and services to individual consumers and, of course, from businesses. So B2C transactions, as we can see in the model depicted on the right-hand side of our screen here, this model mimics in-store purchasing at brick and mortar locations. But instead of consumers having to physically visit a store to purchase goods or services, transactions occur entirely online. The internet serves as the physical location, and the e-commerce site serves as the portal between the consumer and the business. So what about B2B? So business to business. So e-commerce is the selling of goods and services, or B2B e-commerce, I should say, is the selling of goods and services between businesses. So B2B transactions involve orders placed on a recurring basis. So think about, customers ordering stuff from their wholesalers, their distributors. Basically, a catch-all term we could use for that is vendors, right? So B2B transactions could include office supplies, medical equipment, as it says, food service items, beverages, and many other types of items that one business purchases from another. Now, often these purchases are in large quantities and are directly shipped from one business to another. Another type is what we call B2G, which is business to government. Sometimes referred to as B2A, business to administration, is an e-commerce where the selling of goods and services from a business to a governmental organization takes place via online platforms. Now, often B2G takes place with pre-negotiated contracts between a business and a governmental organization. Governmental organizations often issue what's called an RFP, a request for proposal, that outlines the goods or services needed. And then m-commerce. So m-commerce, also known as mobile commerce, think about your cell phone, is a subset of traditional e-commerce. So e-commerce allows users to access online shipping platforms to make purchases without having to use a computer with a desktop operating system such as Microsoft Windows 10. M-commerce activities include mobile banking, mobile application e-commerce sites such as Amazon and eBay, digital wallet services such as Apple Pay and Android Pay, and in-app purchases such as purchase made when using a gaming app. So think about all the different, ways that you can basically spend money look at your bank, online banking, but rather than using a computer, you're just using apps on your phone. Now, what are some issues with e-commerce? Some of the issues with e-commerce include data security and theft, ethical e-commerce practices, competitor analysis, and customer loyalty. With respect to data security and theft, IBM estimates that the average cost of a data breach on an organization is an incredible $3.9 million and 150 for every record that has been lost or compromised. Okay? Ethical issues include making sure product listings are accurate, maintaining accordance with online selling laws, and maintaining web accessibility for persons with disabilities. Now, with respect to competitor analysis, in e-commerce, this can be a difficult task because there's a lot of similarity between organizations selling goods and services online. So it can be difficult to analyze competitors and to distinguish product and service offerings. With respect to customer loyalty, it's estimated that it can cost up to 5 times more to acquire a new customer than it costs to retain one. Hence, companies are very interested and very interested in keeping their existing customers. The success rate of selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70% versus only 5 to 15% for a new customer. So what about a cost benefit of e-commerce presence? Cost benefit analysis is a useful tool in analyzing the costs associated with implementing a project or a set of activities and the benefits that can be achieved as a result of the implementation. So with respect to the actual costs and benefits, costs include the capital outlay involved as well as the impact on an organization as measured in hiring, management, and time commitments. Benefits are measured in potential ROI, return on investment, potential costs averted, productivity gains, market and brand exposure, of course, and increase in sales. All right, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you all in a future video. Take care.